if the idea that I would be able to teleport anywhere with no effort and I would ever write someone a letter is fucking crazy.
I'm gonna give you a 5-minute trick that's gonna improve your D&D game tenfold. If you're planning on running a D&D campaign, you are a world builder. Whether you're running a pre-written adventure or a completely homebrewed setting, be it your first time behind the screen or your 1000th. And going on 10 years, I can tell you, it is the most intimidating aspect of the game. Creating an interesting and explorable world for your players to interact with is the job. And I can tell you, it seems impossible.
Think about world building, it can feel so, you can feel your brain just start to expand.
But it's not. And there was a single realization I had a few years back that substantially lessened that intimidation and made me way more effective at creating something that my players could buy into. It sped up my prep and showed me exactly what I needed to be focused on and all the things that I was technically doing wrong. See, when we think world building, we often tend to see this tapestry of maps and lineage trees, world histories, all the way down to the mundane existences of the people in those worlds and their day-to-day activities. I once got trapped down a rabbit hole designing the inner workings of a city's sewer system and that city's maintenance schedule, all to justify the 6 kobolds I had left there to ambush my players.
That's cool. Not to everyone.
This game is supposed to be my creative outlet, and I essentially designated myself the city comptroller. So believe me when I say it is really hard to know when and where to start, and damn near impossible to know when to stop. All of that until I saw this one interview with Brennanleemulligan and mattmercer that at first I thought was the most insane thing I had ever heard.
Harry Potter has the best world building of almost any fantasy series that I can recall.
Oh, fuck off. No way my man just said what he said. Look, no hate to the fans. I watched the movies. They are cool. But I have always thought the Harry Potter world building was trash. Brennan even gives a few examples himself.
Why do I bring that up? Because the logistics of Harry Potter are fucking nonsense. If you've got a civilization of wizards who can teleport at will, and they have their mail delivered by nature's slowest bird, that's fucking animal cruelty.
And you know what? I'll add a few of my own. You're telling me in a world where a single individual is so dangerous and so threatening that you don't even say his name out loud, and the only conceivable idea to deal with him is to send an 18-year-old to what is essentially a duel to the death, but Hermione needs to double up on herbology and algebra too, so we give her time travel? No one thinks just to pop back a couple years and push Mr. Riddle in front of a train? And I know, somewhere in the comments right now, someone is furiously typing to explain to me all of the reasons why that's not possible. But that's kind of the point. If you have to go dig deep into the lore to find the catch-22 that the author grafted onto the story to make it make sense, you've kind of already lost the debate. But then, Mr. Mulligan, as per usual, showed his brilliance.
People to this day know what their Hogwarts house is. That's good world building.
That's when it clicked. World building is not internal logic. World building is branding. Now, don't get me wrong, you still want cohesion in your world, and you don't want to be contradicting yourself around every corner. But the focus should not be creating some airtight one-to-one functioning world that holds up to every scrutiny. You just kind of want the vibes.
What is the vibe I want my players to have while they're playing this game?
Because it doesn't matter how much sense your world makes logically, if one moment feels different than the next, your players are going to be lost because their interest will be.
All of these can be their own settings, but you want to try and think of a core theme, because once you can clarify that, it'll inform and in many ways kind of springboard the ideas of how your world building is going to go.
No one cares about the Lich's super secret plan if 1 week feels like Game of Thrones and the next feels like Adventure Time. Okay, so here's the actual practical advice. I'm gonna show you one thing I do before any game that keeps me locked in and keeps my world feeling alive. The one thing I do that makes it possible for me to prep efficiently and improve with confidence. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but we're gonna Pinterest board. Yeah, I know, but trust me. Before you write a single word, name a single town, or develop the motivations for a single NPC, open a Google Doc, and then go out and grab 20 pieces of media. Movies, television shows, music, it doesn't matter. 20 things that are gonna represent the feeling that you want your world to evoke. And honestly, it's almost better if they're not D&D or even fantasy related. One of my favorite campaign settings that I have developed happened after watching The Hateful Eight and Django Unchained, listening to a lot of Common and Run the Jewels, and then reading The Town. This way, when you're weeks or months in and you feel yourself being pulled in a million directions, you can recenter yourself on the original conceit of the campaign and keep adding to it. Now, this is not a prison, and games can certainly change over time, but you want those changes to occur naturally because of the story your players are telling, not because the new season of House of Dragon came out. And all of a sudden, your Curse of Strahd game has a lot more political intrigue and sex.
What did your mother tell you?
That I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
All right, now that you have your Pinterest board, go watch this video where I walk you through the first questions you should probably ask yourself to get a world like this put together in a single afternoon.